Welcome back. So, it's been a minute since the last Kung Fu for Artists drawings, and if you have not watched them, make sure to go to the very first video and restart from the very first one. This is going to be a series, and we are going to continue basing off the previous ones. So, if you don't remember, let me come back here through all this paper and craziness. We did a lot. We did some basic shadings, as you can see right here, even with color. And then I am really jacked up on caffeine. And it's because I went to my favorite coffee place, and then we worked on this on the second video, and then on the third video we did some exercises to help keep your hands nice and loose. You know, do those. So go back, watch those other 3 videos before you do this one, and really do the exercises, do the shading work and all that, because otherwise this one is going to be, either it will make sense to you or it won't. And also do the third one and do those every single time you draw to help make sure that you don't get hand cramps and arm issues and hand issues, and which will prevent you from doing the arty arts. And we want to do arty arts because arty arts is awesome. So I want you to pause here, go watch the other ones. We'll wait for you. Go on, go on. Oh, you're back. All right, cool. Now, since you've watched that, we are going to start doing the exercises just to warm up, because I said in the last video we are going to work on some facial exercises. So we're going to do shading with no blending. So we're going to do our value skills. We're going to go very dark, and all the way to light. And then we're going to do light all the way to very dark. And then we're going to go dark. All the way to light. Oh, we got to go light to dark. There we go. I gotta go in this direction. Ah! We're going to really dark. Ah! Alright, now we're gonna go up and down. Stubby, why are we doing this? Because this is a good warm-up exercise. Just like we do in Kung Fu. We do our forms, we do some stretches, we do some warm-up exercises, and it gets us in the mood, it gets us in the groove, and then I'm gonna go back to my other pencil. I found more lead. And then go to the light. Oh, yep. And it helps you get in a good mindset and let your body know, oh, we're arting today. Just let you remind yourself how to do some simple stuff. Okay? We're gonna do diagonals. I can feel it in my arms already. Alright. Now this is without the shading. So I'm going to get me a blender stick over here for the next part. Alright, so we're just going to be using this and this. I like this pencil, but I want to use this one. I like it. Alright, now we're going to do some blending. Now this is where those hand control and muscles are going to come in handy. So we always start out light. Barely, barely touching the paper. So you can keep it all one shade. And we're going to go back over a little bit more. Adding some more shade. A little bit more. Now here you can really see the tooth of the paper. I mean, this is supposed to be very smooth for printing paper, but here you can see it still has a lot of tooth to it. So if you're barely touching the paper, you're going to be able to see the grain of the paper. Alright, so now we have a fairly easily smooth transition. It's nice and clean, so you can see it all. Do some circular motions. Now remember, here comes this one. We can also use this to help start some blending. And we can add layers to that. Keep that hand very light. There we go. So there, now we have some jaggedy, we even have some cross hatching over here, and now we have some shading attributes into this particular exercise. Now, if you don't remember what the Whippets are, this is what we mean by Whippets. You push down and lift up. So it looks really fat at the very end. There we go. And but it gets really small. So you're literally, I'm going to try to do this like here. You're pushing down and you're lifting up. Down and up. Okay. So let's just do a whole bunch. Going down. And then up. And the side. This one's a little harder for me because I don't normally do it this way. And then this way. And side. And all different directions. Make your hand down all kinds of directions. Little teeny ones, and then we're going to do some big ones. See if you can really go from here and all the way up, like make really long ones, really short ones. Really teeny baby ones because they might be little chin hairs on their chitty chin chin, and then really long ones. So you're holding it down and lifting up, holding it down and lifting up. Okay? And then do the other way. So I'm just whoop. Now we're going to do sideways. And then the other way. So for me, if I evaluated just this exercise, this isn't supposed to be fun and pretty. It's supposed to let you know where you're at. Right now, this motion going from left to right, I'm struggling with. You'll notice that my lines here are darker versus smoother they're kind of wobbly and they wave a little bit. So I need to know that if I have to draw in this direction for whatever reason. This side, I don't have as much motion. And I'm shaky here in the beginning. So that tells me that I need to make sure that when I have to draw in this direction that I need to be more careful. This is why doing this particular exercise is extremely beneficial to knowing where you're at for the day before you begin drawing. Just like you would in Kung Fu when we do our forms. It lets you know where you're at with your body. It lets you know if you have any health issues. It lets you be able to observe, oh, I can't lift my arm any further than this. Well, what all can I do? Since I may have a shoulder injury, what all can I do with this amount of motion to help protect myself? Well, what all can I do if I can't go all the way further that way? Me, all I can do is this. Well, how do I be able to draw lines if I can't move my wrist for whatever reason and I need to draw that way? This is why we do these. Alright? Is it pretty? No. Practice doesn't supposed to look pretty. Nothing's 100% perfect. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a savant. Even savants are not 100% perfect. They're pretty dang close though. They're pretty dang close. But they're not. Alright, so let's find some clean pieces of paper. And what I promised you, we're going to take all of what we have learned in the last videos and we're going to start working on actual body parts. And we're going to choose the eye. Because the eyes are the window to the soul. So we're going to look up an eye. So we'll choose this one. There we go. We got an eye. Now the first thing you're going to notice, when we were first learning how to draw, we learned about shapes, right? So let's look at all the shapes that are in this particular drawing. So let's see. We have this area here and there. And then we have a shadow. It's kind of like a very weird rectangle. And then we have one, here's a light patch. I honestly like doing circles versus creating triangles and things like that. I personally like doing circles. Some people don't. I do. Some of them like to draw out the eye, measure it out, etc. Now, we're going to look at this section right here. Notice how here, when you look, it's not just a line and then eyelashes. You actually have quite a bit of a lip there. So we're going to draw that lip. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's going to be there. So there is this thing right here. Okay? And then we have this, the fold of the eyelid, which is about here. And it starts about there. And this is a pretty nice shape. It goes, it's like, okay. Now, this part of the eye, because the eye is not exactly circle, right? There's actually a cornea that goes like this. So there's the cornea. And here's the actual eyeball that's round, but you have like the lens structure of your eye that helps target all the light. So here, your eye is going to be more round because it's got to fit into that cornea, which here you see it comes out just ever so slightly. And this comes into it. And there's even a triangle here. You see that? Here. Triangle. And here we have a triangle. Triangles are... There's that one. Over here we have like a triangle. It's for the white. This gets dark. Here's another dark spot. And this actually comes out like that. It's a very rounded triangle. And here is this triangle. There is a spot here, another spot there, some lines like that. And this is a little bit of faint line there. Nice. Now, this is where this guy comes in. Okay? Let's just fill in the shadow parts. Remember, this is just practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, I am not going to erase these lines because I want you to see the beginning lines as well as the blended lines. It gives you kind of a little bit of structure in that. You're like, Steffi, why are you not erasing other lines? Because I want you to see them. So you know what I'm talking about. This little guy. And this is one of that nice lines. Lash stuff. And some shadow there. That's like, it looks so many. We're layering. We're gonna layer it. And it's gonna look awesome. Alright. We're going to take one area and we're gonna work on that, which is going to be the inside of the eye. So it's right here, right here. And this is where really zooming in and just drawing what's actually there is going to come really, really handy. So we know this line right here, which is going to go right above the eyelashes, has some light on it. So we really want to make sure that is out right now. And we're going to give it some due respect. Make sure it's all light right there. So we have our spot in order to look at it. We have a lump here. You see that? There's a lump. There's a bit of light there. We have some light there. This is where these circles come in. Those basic shapes. There's a light there. And this right through here. It's a little bit darker. Shade gently in those. This a little bit more structure. And that's actually the very bottom of the eyelid. Make that somewhat dark. zoom even more. And see how you can use shadows to give you like direction, right? So I am going to just use this for direction and for skin texturing. Not that far. There we go. So this gets really dark right about here. So this is how you can get into really detailed type stuff. Now I'm not trying to be perfect. This is just practice. I hear my cat throwing up. Yay. So much fun being a pet owner. This little spot there. Remember, you can use your look at those tiny little blood vessels. That's cool. Alright, now we start getting into this area. Now we're going just to be doing little circles, or we can sit there and just do tiny Ds. I'm going to use what we've used before. A little bit. You see at the very bottom. Notice here, when we look at this, it's flat. The eyelid's actually flat right here. Okay? Has a very flat line. And the pupil is fairly big. Really cut that in. You really see the muscle network of the eyeball in this. This is really cool. Use for practice. And she has little bit arms. Little small ones I got. Just go right around that pupil. Remember, all this is doing is practicing muscle control, so don't worry about it if it doesn't look like this. It's not the point. The point of this is to study the different aspects of the particular eye, so you're paying attention to tiny details. So shapes, so we know we had all these different rectangles or shapes like this, you know. So we're looking at shapes and we're just working on shading. So don't even worry about it if it doesn't look right. That's not the point. The point is just to practice. That's it. Just practice. I'm realizing there's more to drawing eyes than this, right? No, it doesn't, like, that's fun when you're a kid, but when you're looking as an adult on your art, you really want to start focusing on other different ways of drawing. And then here we have a little bit of a glass look to this, so we're going to have to be careful of that. Oh, I'm going to darken up some spots. And so that's a shadow work. Remember, there's going to be a shadow up here because you got the eyelashes in here as well. Just adding some see here we got this dark spot. We're going to add that in there. Here, there's a really good clear line from the bottom of the pupil to this line right here. So we definitely want to make sure we get that in there, this nice clean line. We have some light sources coming from here, so we are going to shadow here, and shadow there. Now, remember, whites are never truly white. As you can see here, when you look closely, there's more like grays and like blues instead of pure white. And we have water lined up kind of like this. Gentle fade into it. Now you can really see there's actually more than one line. We have a water line that's right here, so we're going to give it a little bit of water line. goes into right here. I'm so in love with this thing. Use more water lines, barely one over here. Alright, now let's look at this line here. So we're looking at this spot. You'll see that there's a dark line, and it fades out into a lighter line, and then it has another shade line. So here's the darkest line, and it shades out. So there's one value, light hits it, and then it goes back into the shade, and then it comes back out into the value scales where all the bottom eyelashes are. So we're just going to gently like this. And then we come over here, it gets very dark underneath the eye, and it stays kind of dark over on the inside of the corner of the eye. And then if we, like that, nice and gentle. Fades out, because here you have light there. And then you have this section. Section here kind of goes up. And we got all the long eyelashes coming down from the eyelid here. And then we have eyelashes coming from this spot, this line. And there. We'll have to perfect. You naughty, naughty picture. Where did you go? There you are. Shadow over here. Put a line there. Put a line here. Some lines here. Just natural fold in the skin. Notice this line right here, it's right there. It's very, very thin. Give it some lighting. There's some dark spot right here where this comes in. Hold here. Circle, 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 circle. Let's see. Now, look over here, so we have some highlights right through here in this center, but we're going to keep bringing these out. Now we're going to try to bring back this where the light's hitting this part. I'm just going to... Now you can do this. Use a regular eraser. So I'm going to just use this one just so you guys can have a chance. I recommend dabbing this because you're going to get more of that textured eye look. See how here it's not smooth. Our skin is not smooth. It's very textury. We're just going to that. Now this is going to be dark, so I'm going to do this. And we are going to drag. You know, this is fairly dark. And there's a little bit more shadowies. Shadowies. I love my terminology. You can tell I never took professional studies because that thingamajigger that we do with that one art supply thing, yeah, that's me. What happens when you're self-taught? Put this with that covering this side. So it looks like it's actually in there. Skin texturing. Alright. Is this my best work? No, it's not. Can it be better? Yes. But what did we learn today? A lot. Oh, I just will never be happy. Okay, anyways. Stop here. Now, what would I give my eye here a grade of for my art? I would give it a C-. Because I could use so much better. But we have learned things. So here we have circles. We did basic circles here. This outer circle. Then we had an inner circle with a circle around that. We have that lemon drop. We learned that our eyelashes are not on this bottom line like this, or our top lashes come off like that. They're actually inside. They're not inside. If you look at this picture, they're right here. They're actually on top of the eyelid going down and stuff. Just like here. And that's just using the ballet skills. That's all I did. Dark to light. So like here's our darks into our lights, and we might have to do it really tiny. This, and this is all I did to get this eye. Is this a great eye? No, but it's a great start. Is there better artists out there? Of course. But remember, this is practice, okay? We're not trying to draw the next grand $1 million art piece here. We're practicing so we can get to the $1 million art piece. So with this, remember your shapes. Remember, there's more to the eye than just circle, eyelid, bottom eyelid, maybe something here, and then eyelashes like that, okay? And oh, we did this, and there's more to it than that. We have this fold right here of the bottom eyelid. There's this fold of the top eyelid. You might have little mini folds on top of the eyelid. Inside the pupil, when you look inside the iris and the pupil of the eye, you're going to notice many different lines. You're going to notice muscle growths and things. You have the tear ducts over here, and you have a tear duct kind of like over here. And if you look really closely, there's actually little holes on the bottom of your eyelid where water goes up to moisturize your eyes. That's why we have like a water line right through here. I'm just gonna really add that line. Make sure it's really in there. Okay. So you might notice that, and you might notice that it will change the look of the eye. So it's just not, oh, here's an eye and an iris, and then we're just going to color it in like this. No, there's more to it than that. So what I recommend for your next assignment until the next one, we're going to continue looking at the eye, and we're going to look for all the shapes. So let's take this eye. We now know that this, I'm going to mess it up because that's the point. There's a circle here, okay? There's a circle here, and there was a lot of circles through there. We can make this a box shape. We have a box shape here. There's a line that goes this way for that, a line that goes there. There's a line here, and there was a line for all the eyelashes. A line here and here. Okay, there was a triangle shape here and a triangle shape there. There is a lot of shapes, and that's what I want you to start looking at. Is like, we can take the eye, circle, dot, eye shape. Oh, we start learning and start recognizing those shapes, because if we take the shape here, we now know that that is an area where we can do values, okay? So, or if we really zoom in on said eye, okay, we have all kinds of triangles that we can do. There's a triangle, there's a triangle, a really skinny one. You have all these different triangles, right? Here's a rectangle-ish type shape that we can do. So it's kind of like this rectangle shape, and we know that's like a part of the glare. So really break down those shapes, and then start practicing doing your shading with those shapes. And in time, this will become your baseline for your art, and then you'll keep improving, and then life goes good, and all that good stuff. Now, let's relax. We're going to end this particular video with some artsy, fartsy, kung fu stuff. So we're going to bring our hands straight out. So you want your fingers to the sky. Now point them down. Alright. We're going to do our double tonsils. Just roll them back. And now roll them the other way. This is called like a jut. We aim straight forward, so your arms are nice and straight. Point those fingers to the sky, back up, and then chamber. And then you can stretch out your fingers. Moon south. And then the reverse Sun Sao. Up and down and around. Up and down and around. Remember to do the massaging afterwards. If you're not sure how to do that, go to number 3. Do those exercises and the massage. Because right now, all of my muscles right through here are very tense from holding on and erasing and drawing. So it feels very tense. So go do those. And we'll keep practicing, because once we start getting all these little things down, we're gonna take all of them and we're going to do a portrait together. So if all you got is this weird looking eye that looks something like this, I'm okay with that, because it's practice. It's not meant to be perfect, because nobody's perfect, and what you do is enough. So I will see you next time, and we'll keep working on shapes and our value works with our shading. You got this. See you next time. Peace.